Kevin here with Kevin's Way Works. So as you can see, I have the green monster behind me again. Turns out that what we thought was the problem with the right front was not the actual problem with the right front. So after a 20-mile trip to get some stuff, on the way back from that trip, it started shaking really bad again. Kind of worse than before, so we had to kind of limp our way home. I couldn't get above 45 without it shaking so bad I felt like the wheel was going to come off. So at one point I did stop and I checked everything. I could feel the heat radiating off this wheel from 5 feet away. I went up to it, gave it a quick tap with my fingers around the center lug area, and the lug nuts were so hot that they burnt the tip of my middle finger. So there's something going on here still. I think it's either hub assembly related, we have a bad bearing, or something else is going on over here. I did check it with the FLIR camera, and this guy was real hot, 250 plus degrees in the center hub area. So we're going to take it apart and we're going to see if we can find out what the real problem is. So stay tuned and we're going to get to this. Okay guys, so the first thing I'm going to do, we're going to jack this up. We're going to get enough room so the wheel's off the ground so we can move it up and down and side to side and see if we can feel any slop or hear any knocking. All right, we're going to go up right about there. I'm going to get my little chair. So let's see what we can hear and feel. Guys, I just don't feel a bad, I don't feel a bad bearing, guys. Look at that. I mean, that thing is tight. How can that be the bearing? And I don't hear any bearing noise. There is absolutely no movement in that bearing. I mean, it's like the brakes are binding. I mean, I suppose it could be, but you'd think if that brake was binding that bad, I would feel it. There is no pull whatsoever. This thing is nice and straight and smooth. We could have a caliper binding. We could have a bad brake hose. Shoot, we could even have something wrong all the way up into the ABS module. Look at this, right? Here we go again. I'm not going to wear gloves. It's too hot and humid to wear gloves. I mean, the brake is catching, and this actually looks really dark, like it got hot for sure, but maybe we are binding up. All right, well, let's get the caliper off. I'm going to push the cups, the pistons back in, and maybe if they are sticking on something, that'll help loosen things up. If they are stuck, maybe we will feel something holding them in place. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to take this off for a second. And guys, that is tight. Let's compare it to the new one, because I actually do have a new one that I bought years ago because I thought that there was a problem with this particular hub assembly. And after doing testing back then, everything was fine. Okay guys, so here's what I have. I bought this a few years ago. A Moog 513224, made in Taiwan. And this is supposed to be the right one. Let's go ahead and open it up. And here's a nut. This nut holds it in on the end here. Well guys, there's no way we're going to be able to test this because it bolts through onto here. We're never going to be able to compare it to this one without taking this one off. But I can tell you, this one is quiet and it is totally, completely tight. There's nothing wrong with that wheel bearing. So we are not going to do anything with it. We're going to leave it on there. Oh, and this actually does have the Moog part number laser etched into it, so we know this is a genuine Moog, most likely. All right, at this point, I am still leaning towards brakes, guys. I am thinking that either we have an issue in that hose there or that caliper. All right, let's try that, guys. Can you see that okay? So I'm going to take this brake pad like so. I'm going to take this clamp, like so. And I'm just going to open it up because it's not open enough. I'm going to do this while it's hanging. It's a little awkward. I'm just doing this to make it easier for you guys to see. And we're just going to give this a little bit of clampy clamp. Oh, it doesn't want to go in, guys. I think we found our problem. Yeah, so I think we found our problem. Typically that should just pop right back in, like no problem. And as you can see, they're not going back in. So we have a problem. Keep your fingers crossed that this is going to fit. Yay! Alrighty. Alrighty, let's give this a clamp, see if it'll move. That one's moving. Maybe just one of them's stuck. I mean, I barely turned that and it moved no problem. Maybe this side's stuck. Yeah, that one's a little tight. That one's definitely tight. But it is moving. But it's not moving easily. Let's see if we can compress this anymore. Oh man, that one is tight. I don't understand why that's so tight. Let's try this one again. Okay, watch this one, see if it comes out. Yeah, see, it's not even coming out. I think we got a problem with that caliper right there, or that piston. Shucks, guys, shucks. Shuckies. But it's just awfully hard to push in. This one's not, that one is. So I don't think it's the brake line, I think it's that piston. You guys, these should go in like butter. Shouldn't have any force at all to push them in. Like this one's going in so easily. And clearly something's wrong with this one right here. All right, everybody. We have discovered the issue. So I had my son press on the brakes. This one I could see coming out, and I clamped it, and then I had him press on them some more, harder and harder, and he said he was pressing on it really hard, and this one will not come out. So this piston is sticking in the bore, and that is our issue. Okay, dokie. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to put the bracket back on. I'm going to put the caliper back on with the pads, and then I'm going to go in the car, start it up, step on the brakes, because I got to push this piston out. This piston's so stuck that we couldn't get it out just trying to gently get it out. I didn't want to go overboard and have it come shooting out and lose all my brake fluid. So we were trying to do it gently, but only this one would move. So that one's stuck pretty good. So let's go ahead and get that bracket on. All right, let's get some pads in there. Okay, there's that one. Oh, ow! It's got me again. This little guy right here, she's sharp. All right, there's that. I may not start the car. I may just try to press it while it's off. So I guess that was Loctite, because I can't even screw that bolt in now. All right, you guys watch it. If it starts to look like something's going funky, just tell me. I'm gonna go in, step on that brake, let's see what happens. Oh, I don't have keys and the car's locked. Hey, ma'am. Hey, Miss Lola. Miss Lola is waiting at the door for me. She knows I'm outside. My wife's at the beach. My son's upstairs playing games because he got a new video card so he could play a game he hadn't been able to play. Oh, I heard it. Tighten up. Okay. Ooh, wow. Okay, I mean, that took a lot of pumps before it pushed it out all the way. Let's go see if we can get it off now. All right, let's see how tight it is. Oh dear, it's tight. Tight. All right, guys. So hopefully both of those have expanded. All right, let's see if we can break that free while it's on the vehicle. Okay, now let's take these out. Last time I dove this deep into brakes, I was doing 1969 Mustang when I was like 7 years old. All right, well there it is. We are leaking. I don't have, let's see if we can do this right here. What you guys think? You think that'll hold it from leaking? We're about to find out. All right, let's see if we're leaking. Doesn't seem to be leaking. Looks like that might have worked, guys. That might have worked. So I'm gonna kind of hang this up right here on our hook that's already there. So I'm gonna just drop this in here and see if it has any. Ooh, that's not. Look at that. Well, I think we found our problem, because I don't think they're supposed to be that tight in there like that. Look at that, it'll go in part way, and when it gets to the bottom, it's tight. So you can see right there, we're right about 42 millimeters. Can you guys see that? Oh, I'm a little, let me screw it up a little bit. So right about 42 millimeters. Here's what shows us what the real problem is. So down here should be a little hair under 41 millimeters, right? So 41.97. Watch this. This is the part that was sticking out of the vehicle. 42.06, 0506. Physically cannot fit inside that bore. So that's the problem. These have swollen from being out in the environment. They're probably out about that. What do you think? I can't remember, about that far. So they were out about that far below where that rubber seal was riding. And so the moisture from the outside air must be able to get through this rubber. And it was just sitting in there getting absorbed into the phenolic resin and swelled it. So you can buy replacement pistons, and they're only like $5 each. So I'm gonna buy 2 pistons for this one, get this one back together, get it working again. The problem is, I bet you all the other ones are gonna have the same issue. But anyway, that's what I found so far, and I'll be back in a second with more details. All right, everybody, Rock Auto has worked their magic. And there is my Carlson 7859 phenolic pistons for brake calipers. So let's go ahead and let's see what happens when we try to slip this guy into those holes in the caliper. There's already a little bit of grease in here, just so you can see a comparison of the two. Pretty much identical. So let's go ahead and see if it slides in. Actually, before I slide it in, let's go ahead and give you a reminder of what happens when we try to slide one of the old ones in. Oh, it's working good, working good. Oh no, it won't go any further because all this area that was sticking out has swollen from absorbing moisture from the air. Let's go ahead and give one of the new ones a try. You ready? Oh yeah, baby, look at that. So that goes all the way in, as far as it can go. And it bottoms out there too. So this is kind of, it didn't bottom out here. Yeah, it did. I just don't want to push it too hard because I don't want to jam it up. But it does feel like it's getting a little resistance all the way at the bottom. But I don't think that's going to be an issue because once you put it in and you have your new pads on, you push it out, it is going to come out a little bit anyway. So this one's pretty much bottomed out. It's just catching a tiny, tiny bit on some edge. But I'm happy with that, guys. That is perfect. I mean, it feels hard when I hit. So I'm going to say that that's in all the way. It looks like it's even all the way around. So I'm going to call that good. So I just went out and I got a universal kit of these copper banjo washers. And we'll just find the right one that matches the original. So that's our original. I just need to find a matching one, although, I mean, this one still looks like it would be fine to reuse. I'm going to do a new one. So there's one. And I think this one will work for the back side. The outer diameter is a little bigger, but I think it'll be okay. Yeah, see, that other one fits in there just fine. We'll use it. Fits in the recess that's already there. All right, guys, here we go. So this one goes like this. So I'm just going to set this right here so it won't fall. Now, I think this still has the crush washer on it, so I'm going to have to go get something to help pop that off. All right. Yep, the other washer is still on the other side. And it came off pretty easily. That goes through like that. This one goes here like this. And then this guy is gonna go here. Gotta get the right angle to get it started. Like so. I'm just making sure I have it in the right place, and I do. So let's go ahead and just tighten that down so it's not gonna leak everywhere. Make sure you have enough fluid so you're not leaking it all out while you're doing this. No, there is a torque to this. I'm not going to torque it yet. I'm just going to put some pressure on it so we're no longer leaking brake fluid all over the place. So right here, we have to torque that now. So this one goes to 37 foot-pounds. 37 foot-pounds. Gonna give that a second. I don't know how much the copper crushes. Let's go ahead and just give it another one. I went a little tiny bit over. Whoops, sorry guys. So 37 foot-pounds. All right, guys, I got a longer piece of tubing. And I just have it down in here, a little Tupperware container. And I did pump the brakes. Let's go ahead and loosen this up. We do have some more air coming out. All right, I'm going to go pump them again. And I'm not running the car while I'm doing this. I'm just pumping the brake while it's off, just to help get the bubbles out, get the air out. And make sure you have plenty of brake fluid when you're doing this. Alright guys, we ran out of space on the camera. Alright, let's go ahead and open this up again. I let it sit for a little while, took a break. Let's go ahead and see if we have any more air getting in here. Looks like we are good and clean. Not seeing any more air bubbles, so I'm going to call that good. This actually does have a torque to it. I think it's 8 foot-pounds. Get some gloves, and we'll see if we can do 8 foot-pounds on this guy. Let's go ahead and torque it to spec if we have enough room to do so. There you go, 8 foot-pounds. You guys are my witnesses. Alright guys, so that was not really all that bad. Go ahead and get all the brake fluid off everything over here. This brake parts cleaner does take the paint off just a hair, so don't go overboard. See how the paint came off a little bit. Don't go too overboard on it. Alright guys, I'm going to put this wheel back on. You've already seen me do it. You've seen it dozens of times. So I'm not even going to film it. So hang on and we'll get to the other side next. Alright guys, one thing you want to make sure of is that you have plenty of brake fluid. So it's kind of hard to see. It looks like it's, I know I've got you guys sideways, but it looks like it's right about here. And basically you're going to open up your little cover right here. Get all the junk out of it, open it up, and then you can open up your cap and you can look down in there also. Yeah, we're about where you see, actually it's easier to see on this side. Let's see if you can see this. So you see the line right there. So right now we do have plenty of fluid in there. There are markings, I think they're on the other side, that tell you the fill level. Yeah, so min right here, and then there's going to be a max. I can't read it at this angle. You might not be able to see the min, but there is a min right there. So looks good, but just make sure you're not too low. You don't want to suck in any air, because if you do, you're going to have to bleed everything, and that's a pain. So I'm trying to do this to where I'm doing minimal bleeding. I find it odd that just one side would get jammed up like that and not both. Ooh, it's hot. I lean my hand on there. Yeah, guys, this is not, that's not going in either. Yeah, these are sticking too. That's as far as I can get both of those. So this side has to be done as well. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. And let's give our pistons a test. Look at that, guys. She bottoms out just perfectly. And just like the other side, that one sticks a little bit when it gets to the bottom. All right, looks good. All right, let's get her put back on. Alright guys, I'm going to call that good. Alright guys, so there actually is a max line. It's right here. It's hard to see, but it is right there. So we are a little lower on brake fluid than we are when we started, even though we did retract the pistons. So I'm going to add a little bit to it. I'm not going to go all the way to the max because I still have to do the rear. So I'm just going to raise it up just a little bit. And we'll look at the rear in a future video. So there we go. I'm going to stop right there and call it good. Okay guys, I'm going to take it for a ride, see how it feels, and if all is good, we'll go ahead and have our final talk. So stay tuned. Alright guys, thank you for sticking with me on this one. I know we had originally thought it was the drive shaft, and then we thought it was that guide pin bolt falling out causing the brakes to bind up, but then the problem was still occurring, and I found out that it was because the pistons had swelled and weren't able to retract into the bore of the calipers, and that was causing them to bind up, which was causing heat, which was causing the vehicle to shake like it was. And it was all because of those pistons. So we learned that Kevin did not mess up. It was a heat issue. So the heat caused that bolt to back out and fall out. That was just a symptom. It wasn't a cause. So that was a pretty easy fix. A couple of ways you could have gone about it. One of them is just replacing that caliper entirely. I chose not to go that route just because that's not fun. I like to have fun. So I was able to go find the pistons that fit it. Went ahead and bought them. They were here in a couple days, and we tossed them in, and everything is fixed. So so far so good. I took it for a run up and down the road. I bedded in the brake pads pretty good, and all is well. I don't think we're going to have any more issues, at least from the front, and at least not for many, many years. Probably at least a decade before they swell again and I have to do this again. The rear ones probably need to be looked at and done, so that'll be a future video. I'll go ahead and there's only one piston on each caliper in the back, so that one's going to be a little quicker job, but pretty much the same concept. I might actually take the pistons that are swollen and turn them on a lathe to try to get them down to specifications and maybe use those in the rear. We'll see. I don't know yet. We have 4 that we can try with. We just have to have 2 good ones when we're done, or I just have to buy 2 more, and we'll go from there. So maybe in a future video I will do that. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, they're only $8 each. I didn't buy them when I bought these because it caused the shipping to take like an extra week and a half, and I just didn't have that time to wait. So I went ahead and bought the 4 that I could get, and we got them in, and everything is good to go. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, and I hope we get to do more videos like this. So as always, guys, I want to thank you for watching. Kevin's Way Works.